the White House just deleted a tweet that boasted about raising Social Security accounts. Excuse me, but after it was fact-checked by Twitter, what did the White House have to say then?
All right, let's show you the tweet. Seniors are getting the biggest increase in their Social Security checks in 10 years through President Biden's leadership. Wow, they took credit. Twitter then added a context note. Hey, the increase is because of inflation. So the White House deletes the tweet.
Thanks for joining me here at Crossing the Line. I'm your host, Isaac King. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and comment down below. Now let's get into it. Hey guys, thanks for joining us here on another episode of Crossing the Line. I'm your host, Isaac. Let's get straight into today's top story. Twitter's fact-checking the White House, and the White House has gone and deleted a tweet. That's quite the spin. The size of the Social Security checks is linked by law to inflation, said CNN's Daniel Dale. A story coming out of Timcast here about the Biden administration tweeting out about something the other day that was fact-checked by Twitter's, I suppose, program that'd be doing it. And, yeah, they didn't like it, so they deleted their tweet. The White House deleted a Tuesday tweet announcing an increase in Social Security benefits under the Biden administration after receiving a context check from Twitter's community note feature. The contextual fact check comes under the company's Birdwatch, which gathers and highlights adds context regarding claims that appear to be true on their face. They may need additional clarification. Seniors are getting the biggest increase in their Social Security checks in 10 years through President Biden's leadership. You'd think he'd actually up the money for seniors, saving he is a senior, said the White House in a now deleted tweet. While the community note conceded that the senators would receive an increase in their Social Security benefits, it clarified that it was not directly because of the Biden administration, but cost of living adjustments for Social Security recipients were based on inflation, according to legislation. Seniors will receive a large Social Security benefit increase due to the annual cost of living adjustment, which is based on the inflation rate, reads the community note. President Nixon in 1972 signed the law automatic benefit adjustments titled the Consumer Price Index. The note continued, citing Public Law 92336. Here's the tweet here. Seniors getting biggest increase in the Social Security checks in 10 years through President Biden's leadership. Readers, and there's the fact check there. So they're going to be spewing that Elon's going to be making sure they get fact checked. I don't think it's really just Elon's takeover of Twitter, but it's this was already implemented before he was in there, and basically this fact check was a weapon used against anyone that they didn't like, but they wouldn't use it against their own propaganda and lies that they'd spew out that they'd agree with. White House seniors are getting the biggest Social Security increase in 10 years. Context checkers because the inflation is highest it's been in decades. White House deletes tweet. Welcome to Elon Musk's Twitter. That's fucking fantastic. The legislation amended the Social Security Act in 1935, which required inflation to be at least 3% before a cost of living adjustment could be triggered. However, in 1986, Congress eliminated a 3% trigger on the COLA Institute. Current COLA increases were triggered by a minimum of a 0.1% increase in the Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers. If the CPI increases by less than 0.05%, or if the CPIW decreases, there won't be a COLA according to the statute. Senior reporter of the CNN, Daniel Dale, commented on Twitter community note fact-checking the White House, saying it's quite the spin. Biden falsely said today, on my watch for the first time in 10 years, seniors are getting an increase to the Social Security checks. There was an increase again tied to inflation every year of Trump's term. Dale continued, Biden said the previously done a correct version of the claim, saying it's the first time in a decade that Social Security checks are up at the same time as Medicare premiums are down. But today's solo claim that the first Social Security increase in 10 years is wrong, even if you ignore the increases are about inflation. Just more lies coming from the Biden regime. It's not just their fucking regime. Our regime here in Australia is the same. I can't wait to see this start popping up in my Twitter feed of the same kind of shit happening with our politicians over here. Because they say some daft shit. Twitter's new owner, Elon Musk, commented on the fact check saying the system is working. Community notes feature is awesome, Musk continued in a separate tweet. Our goal is to make Twitter the most accurate source of information on earth without regard to political affiliation. Now that I'll stand behind forever. That's exactly what it should be. That's what all news and media should be. I mean, I know I've got my biases and affiliations, and if you can't see that, then you're blind. But I'm not going to be sitting here telling you that I don't have any biases or, my own political ideology, But the mainstream media, most social media platforms, they all just say that they're completely unbiased. They don't do anything that would tip the scales for any faction or any member of, any political party. But we all know that's bullshit. The DHS has just been found out to be working with social media platforms like Twitter and censoring information that they deemed worthy of censoring, anything that goes against the grain, anything that goes against their narrative. In October, Social Security Administration announced supplemental security income, which are paid to beneficiaries in addition to the regular benefits of offset inflation and other unexpected costs, would increase to 8.7%, netting roughly $140 in extra benefits for recipients beginning in January. According to a September Consumer Price Index summary release of the Bureau of Labour Statistics, inflation increased by 0.4%, while August core inflation rose 6.6%. Inflation is going to be the death of the Democratic Party in the next election. They have tilled the soil to bear rotten fruit. They have done nothing but sow the seeds of doubt, continuing on with their farming analogy, and they've lied and cheated their way to where they are now, and now it's coming back to bite them in the ass. You cannot hide from the voting public how much they are paying for fuel, how much they are paying for groceries. At the moment, I think diesel here is $2.30 at my local service station, and it's, I think, $2.80 or $2.60 my wife paid a litre in town, which was, you think it'd be even cheaper, but it's not. It's insane how much fuel prices have gone up. We knew this was going to happen, but it's biting me in the ass. It's costing me a shit ton of money just to go to work. It's costing my wife a shit ton of money to go to work. So when you're spending $300 to $400 a week on fuel, and you're making $2,000 a week, that's a big fucking lump sum out of your fucking week, man. It's a big lump sum of money coming out of your paycheck. And this is what's happening to the people in the US. They're folding under the pressure of the White House's regime and all of the cost of living fucking problems that have popped up over the last 12 months. I mean, we knew it was going to happen after COVID and all that, and the cost of petrol has been escalated due to the war in Ukraine and shutting down oil pipelines. But the US, under Trump, was nearly energy sufficient. So that means they were making more oil, gas, power than what they consumed, and it was all in-house. So they weren't having to go overseas to get it, which means it became a lot cheaper. It's like here in Australia, we sell all of our oil, gas, and all that shit over to other countries, and then we have to buy it back. A lot of the time, it's sold to places like China before it's even found. Like, if you don't know there's gas underground in that spot, when they find it, all of that's already been sold. It's been promised to another country, which we then have to buy back off them at a higher rate. It's insanity. It's not going to change unless we make the changes with voting and that. So they've got the midterms coming up in America at the moment, and it looks like it's going to be a red wave. It's going to be a red flood. It's going to be the Democrats are going to be fleeing off of a sinking ship and getting drowned by the Republican voters. It looks like everyone's going Republican. It's still early on as of filming this, but they could have a landslide and just wipe out the Democratic Party in local elections there. That's what we need here in Australia, but I just don't see how it's going to happen, anything like that here in Australia, because I mean, if you're watching this kind of content, you're probably politically minded like myself. So you vote along the same lines, maybe, whatever. But all those people that just either, well, most of us get out and vote because in Australia it's pretty much mandatory, otherwise you get a fine in the mail, which I really don't think should be the way we do it here, because you get all those donkey voters who just vote for things like the fucking marijuana party and shit like that, which they just give their votes away to Labor or Liberal or whatever. But it's coming back to bite the Democrats in the ass, the way they've ruined the country. And they haven't just ruined the country. They've told all these people that it's your fault it's like this. And like Biden come out and he had that address to the nation where he stood in front of the red background and he was chanting about how the MAGA Republicans are the enemy of the state. Basically like a dictator-esque speech. It looked like Hitler up on a fucking grandstand if it was just colorized. It's disgusting the way that they're treating the voting people of their country. They do it here as well. They did it over the last 2 years. I'm not going to say the words because it'll get shut down here on YouTube. But the last 2 years, anyone who spoke out against the big, was shut down, and then you were like persecuted. And not only were you like told to shut up and follow the line everyone else and be a good little sheep. If you spoke out in Australia, you were locked up, you were fucking taken to court, you were fined, whatever you want to do. They were dragging people out of their homes for making Facebook posts. And now they all want us to apologise. Not apologise, because they're not going to apologise to us, but they want an amnesty over the way they treated us over the last 2 years. I, for one, am not going to forgive or forget them. And I go into detail in that in another video, but I can't put that one up here on YouTube, so I'm going to put that into just a Rumble thing, just up on Rumble, and see how that goes out there. Because there's no point putting it up on YouTube. It'll just get 0 views of a few things I've put out that, especially on TikTok, that just you say those couple of words and it's just nothing. Which, starting out on a YouTube channel, having a shitty little show like this, it doesn't fucking help. So I'm just going to stay away from those words. The words I'm talking about. It's like Voldemort. And speaking of Voldemort, back to Biden anyway. Now, if they're treating their voters like they're scum and they're treating them like they're idiots and yelling at them and abusing them and calling them MAGA Republican terrorists and whatever they are, because they're pissed off that they don't want to pay $7 a gallon for fuel or something over there. And they can't afford to feed their kids. They can't afford to go to work because the fuel's so expensive. They're going to be pissed off. It's like, it's taking food out of their mouths. That's the last thing you want to do to a population. And they know who's doing it. They know it's not Trump. It's not Trump. He hasn't been in for the last however long now, 18 months, whatever the fuck it is. And you're still sitting there yelling about him and, oh, it's his fault, it's his fault. It's fucking not. You're in charge now. You take the blame. You want to spend the $60 billion or whatever the fuck it is you've sent to Ukraine because, well, your son's over there fucking getting all the money anyway, you crack-headed son. But you're sending all that money over to Ukraine and then your people are starving and dying in the streets and overdosing on fentanyl. And your kids are shitting in litter boxes in schools and they don't know what gender they are. And you've got a massive population of people who cannot afford to go to the hospital. That's another thing in the US that I don't see why they argue about, like, we have socialised healthcare here in Australia. It's good. I don't like paying the amount of taxes we pay, but having a bit of a recent cancer diagnosis, it's a big relief not knowing that I don't have to go and fork out hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of medical bills. But if that was the case, well, that's the case. You have to go and pay it, otherwise you die, isn't it? So the socialised healthcare system we have here in Australia isn't the best in the world and never fucking will be, but it's not the worst. And in the US, you can't even go and get an insulin shot. I think a shot of insulin's like $100 or something. Oh, the EpiPen, sorry. EpiPen's like $100 a minimum. Or a asthma puff or something like $80 or $100. Like, your government's fucked you over and sold you out to these massive corporations, and people like this guy, Joe Biden, are the ones that are doing it. And I think they're waking up. And they're realizing that the government is not there to help you. They're not there to help you. They're not there to hold your hand and take care of you like they told us they were over the last couple of years. They will beat you down, literally, lock you up, and shut you up if you say or do the wrong thing. And especially there in the States. Like, they crack on and say that we had concentration camps over here in Australia, which our government did build. So I'm not going to deny that. They were literally driving around in vans, shooting people that were out after dark with pepper balls and rubber bullets. And then when they shot back, they would unload on them and kill them in the street like they were insurgents or something. But no, they were just out after curfew. So all those little hometown mayors that no one ever thought about and no one really cared about voting for, all those little local government people that no one really give two shits about, they realised over the last 2 years how much power and dictator-like power they have over you. Like, if someone can come to your door in the US, where they say that they're the most free country in the world and they have more guns than people, I think by 2 at least, it's that old saying is that never invade America is behind every blade of grass is a gun. It's, if they can do it to them, they can do it to us, and they did. Now, those little local mayors and little local sheriffs and, you know, police chiefs or whatever you have, they ruled with an iron fist and locked you in your own homes for the last couple of years and treated you like you were vagrants, scum, less than human, or whatever. So now I think the entire population's got to the point where, not just America, in Australia as well, I fucking hope that they've realised that you have to think about who you're voting for. You can't just vote in, I'm going to vote Labor because I always vote Labor. I'm going to vote Liberal because I always vote Liberal, blah, 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 blah. Or if you vote for the Greens, then get your head checked. It matters who you vote for. You shouldn't just donkey vote. You can't just vote for a random person that you don't know nothing about. It will cost you your livelihood if you vote the wrong person in. It could cost you your life, because people like Biden, people like our Prime Minister at the moment, Putin, you name any big person in the politics, world power, anyone like that, they can send you to die in a war. I mean, all these people that are like, yay, let's go and fight in Ukraine. We should put up a fucking no-fly zone so Russia's not allowed to fly there. Do you realise that will lead to nuclear holocaustic war? That will kill everyone. You don't understand that if America enters the war any more than they already have, because it's basically America versus Russia, and we're not excluded from that. We've sent them plenty of equipment. If it escalates anymore and Putin could see that he's going to lose any part of Russia, which now they've already made the eastern side of Ukraine technically Russia with their dodgy vote they had the other week. If Putin gets backed into a corner any more than he is, he will drop the fucking big one. He will. And then if that happens, we all know what America will do. They will drop another big one. And then it's a cascading effect. I know they're going to be nukes getting launched on Moscow and fucking New York and things like that. It doesn't have to be. The people you vote for will send you to fight and die in a war that they don't give a fuck about. They're only doing it to make $1 or to get a like on Facebook or TikTok or fucking whatever. They don't care. They're sending all this money overseas to Ukraine and they wouldn't even know what the fuck is going on there. They're just like, oh, we have to do it because everyone on Twitter said it's a good idea. It's fucking, oh, quick, get your little Ukrainian flag on your profile. Those poor people in Ukraine are being used as fucking cannon fodder for this war. Elon Musk came out the other week and said that they need to figure out how to create peace and get a peaceful resolution. I don't know what that fucking looks like. That is not my job. People like Zelensky, Putin, Biden, Scott Morrison, to some tiny little fucking four-eyed wanker extent that he is, They're the people that we've put in charge to sort out these squabbles so it doesn't lead to a nuclear fucking holocaust. And they're like, nah, fam, we're good. We're just going to send you money and flip Putin off and tell him to get fucked, and now he can't have a Big Mac. Biden doesn't even know what he's doing at the moment. He's probably shit himself and fallen down a flight of stairs. What the fuck is going on? We put you in charge. Well, fucking, I didn't put you in charge. People have put you in charge, and all these people are sitting there going, wait a minute, why are they marching us towards a nuclear annihilation? Why are fuel prices fucking going through the roof? Why can't I get fruits and vegetables in at the shop? Why is there no potatoes? Why is there no food? Why are my kids getting told that they're a fucking pansexual fucking elephant at school? Why are they shitting in a litter box? Why are pedophiles now teaching my kids at school? Oh, wait a minute. It's because you voted for this. You voted for those people. You only have yourself to blame. People like me were screaming and waving flags and yelling at you and telling you, stop, what are you doing? You're running towards the edge of the cliff. And you said, shut the fuck up. You're a conspiracy theorist. You're an idiot. Blah, 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 blah. You should be quiet. And now we're sitting here in this pile of shit you lot have created. And I'm sure if you're still watching this crap right now, you're not the ones I'm talking about. Hopefully this red wave comes. Hopefully Elon takes over Twitter and reinstate, well, he's already taken it over, but hopefully he reinstates all these banned and silenced people that deserve to be reinstated. And hopefully this coming election, and hopefully in Australia when we have ours, that everyone goes, wait a minute, you've just ass raped us for the last 2-3 years, and now you're telling us to be good little peasants and shut the fuck up and let's do it again. Here, pick up the soap. I swear I won't do it again. Pick up the soap. Pick it up. Pick it up, peasant boy. That's what they're telling you. And if you fall for it again, if you forgive them, if you forget what they did, I can't help you. No one can help you. If you bend over for these people again, they will sodomize you again, and it will be your fault. I mean, if you're into getting sodomized, that's your thing. But I, for one, am not. And I, for one, won't vote for it. So think about what they've done. Hopefully, in the US, they remember what they did to them. And we'll see where that goes, shall we? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. Leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.